And it'll be Estonia's Sten Dorian Pilimägi, 20 years old, from Tallinn, on the AIX Racing CRG kart number 637, who will start from pole position. In kart number 611, Thierry Del Rey, the Belgian driver, the double world IAMI champion, finished 4th in the IAMI International Finals at Le Mans last year. He's 30 years old, from Heers. Started at the age of 9. He's been karting for 21 years. So Thierry Del Rey has been karting for 21 years. The poleman is only 20 years old. But Sten Dorian Pilimägi won the first 2 heat races yesterday, and Thierry Del Rey won the 3rd and final heat race. On the second row of the grid, we have the 2 Jan Daams racing karts, the 2 white and blue liveried machines on your screen. Starting 3rd will be the oldest driver in the class, 37 years old, Athens-based John Antoniadis in kart number 616. And John is the kind of the tutor, the mentor of the second of the Jan Daams kart, number 603, Konstantin Schoel. And Konstantin, the Austrian driver from Vienna, 19 years old, the youngest driver in the class. Well, he's had to follow his teacher around most of the day, because John has been in inspired form. And John Antoniadis, he started karting back in 1990, before quite a few other drivers in the paddock were even born. There's Thierry Del Rey going through your screen. In 5th place on the grid for the Haas team, and we spoke to Mr. Haas yesterday, that is number 613, Mikko Lane. Now Mikko, a former DD2 Masters World Champion, 34 years old, from Akka in Finland, 35 years old from Akka in Finland. Despite all his experience across different classes, this is his first ever X30 Super Show race, and as you can see, this class has standing starts. Standing starts, 0 to 60 in just over 3.5 seconds. Lights are out, we're off and racing. Oh, it's a poor start from John Antoniadis, who gets jumped by his teammate, and Thierry Del Rey gets around the poleman as they go off into turn number 1, and Del Rey leads from Pilimägi. Then Konstantin Schoel in 3rd, Antoniadis in 4th, and Mikko Lane in 5th as they head down towards turn number 5 now, and down the back straight, and they are travelling at 120 kilometres an hour before they get to turn number 6, through the button complex and around into turn number 8, and down the infield straight towards turn number 9. Del Rey leading Pilimägi, Schoel and Antoniadis through turn number 9, down towards turn 11, and on to another lap. This is where they're picking up full speed once again. Del Rey, Pilimägi, and around turn number 1 again on the right hand side of the steering wheel. That's where the gear lever is, so you can see their hands moving down as they shift up and down the gears. On the left hand side of the steering wheel, there's a hand operated clutch. Now if you have a little look down the back straight, look at the cars in the background, where it's not a perfect shot, but at one point we'll get a shot of the carts going down the straight, and you can see the Europlan in the background, and you can see that the carts are travelling twice as fast as the cars on the highway itself. We're on lap 2 out of 14, so if you can imagine the speed on the highway is about 90 kilometres an hour, and you just watch these carts whiz past them. There's Mikko Lane going through your picture, but it is Del Rey trying to hold off Pilimägi. Got a great start, made the move. Now under braking for turn number 1, there is Del Rey. Pilimägi in 2nd, the 2 Jan Daams racing teammates 3rd and 4th, Schoel with the yellow crash helmet, Antoniadis with the black crash helmet. And Antoniadis has changed his race suit from yesterday. Obviously he had 2 race suits scrutineered, decided that he wanted to be in full corporate livery today, but he is pushing his teammate along. Now when will Antoniadis kind of think to himself, right, I need to make a move here on my young protege and get off after the leaders, because I'm not here just to make the numbers up. I wouldn't mind a taste of a victory as well. Well, we've got plenty of time to go. We're on lap number 4 now of 14. And Anthony Addis having a little look around. Scholl doing a pretty decent job of just hanging on to the top 2. But of course, Konstantin Scholl, the least experienced driver in terms of this class, or gearbox racing in general. Although Nico Lane is in his first ever X30 Super Shifter, he's very experienced in other classes of gearbox karts. And there's Miko going through the picture at the back there. But now Scholl, he'll be quick over a couple of laps, but can he keep up mistake-free shift after shift after shift for 14 laps? That is the key. And this is where experience comes into it. Anthony Addis looking quick, but he's got to pick his moment. Maybe coming into turn number 11 now. Yes, there we go. So, John Anthony Addis now passes Konstantin Scholl into 3rd place, and he's going to signalling there. He's saying, come on, follow me. Let's see if he can close in, because Stendori and Pinimagi is only about 3 or 4 kart lengths behind the race leader. 53.207. Pinimagi getting closer to Del Rey. If they start battling, that will draw Anthony Addis and Scholl into the frame for the race win. Nico Lane just about 2.5 seconds off the pace in 5th position. They come into turn number 9, into 8 rather. Around that 180 degree left-hander down towards the spectator area. Into turn number 9, the right-left flick, then the left at turn 10. Del Rey hard on the brakes for turn number 11. Now goes back up through the gears. They head out onto the start-finish straight. You can see him flicking his hand down to the gear shift. There's another shift and another. Now braking, operating the clutch with the left hand, right hand off the steering wheel to go down through the gears as he's turning and braking to make sure he gets the apex. Fantastic display of quick reactions there. And these HDTV pictures from Telemundi Media doing a fantastic job of showing you just how busy these drivers are in one of these 6-speed gearbox karts. They come around turn number 7, and you can see the drivers working their hands on the wheel and the gear lever and the clutch, all the while trying to make sure that they hit their marks at the apex of every corner and keep the chasing pack behind them, or catch the pack in front. Anthony Addis is starting to pull away from his teammate Scholl. You can see a bit of a gap developing, and Anthony Addis last time around a 52.98, quicker than Pinimagi. Oh, but he spins. Oh, Anthony Addis goes around all on his own. Now, was that a lock-up? Or did simply see now he's having a little look? Oh, that kart is locked solid. Oh, is he moving it out of the way? He's got one of Konstantin Scholl's race suits on. Who was that? That said Scholl on the side of his race suit, but it was Anthony Addis. Oh, he was just trying to confuse the commentator. That is Anthony Addis with the black crash helmets, even though he's got Scholl down the side of his race suit, and he's looking down at the side of the kart there. Something may have seized on that kart to pitch him into a spin. So that is Konstantin Scholl, 603, now in 3rd place. Just as I was in the middle of saying that Anthony Addis had just put in a personal best lap of 52.985, which is only a tenth slower than Thierry Del Rey when he spun. So maybe pushing a little bit too hard, maybe a problem. We'll find out before the final. But it does mean that Del Rey and Pinimagi are now nearly 2 seconds clear of Scholl as we enter the second half of this X30 Super Shifter final, pre-final rather. And Pinimagi at the moment has not been able to put any major pressure on Del Rey. He was able to set the fastest lap. Del Rey responded with the new fastest lap, but just as Anthony Addis was coming into the picture in terms of putting some pressure on Pinimagi, he disappeared from our timing screens, and now Pinimagi's got no pressure from behind because Scholl is 2.5 seconds back in 3rd position. So Pinimagi can solely focus on catching Del Rey, and Del Rey only has one driver to worry about, And Pirimagi, a 52.768 new fastest lap. And Pirimagi trying to put the pressure on through turn number 8. The gap looks like it's shrinking this lap. It was 0.3 of a second. And Pirimagi about 1/10 of a second quicker than Del Rey so far around this lap. Through turn number 4. Now, Del Rey sets the kart up, down a gear, down another gear, into turn 5. Now, back up through the gearbox. 1, 2, 3. Pirimagi keeping one hand off the steering wheel all the way down the back straight there, because he knows as soon as he gets up through the gearbox, he's got to go back down for the button complex. Del Rey not looking over his shoulder, not worrying about what's going on behind. Pirimagi looking quicker. This is lap number 10 out of 14. Through turn number 10, Pirimagi closing in, down through the gears for turn number 11. Turn right, hit the apex, hard on the power. Boom, boom, up to the gearbox. Full speed, over 120 kilometers an hour. Now down through the gearbox once again. Down 2, 3, 4 gears maybe. Into turn number 1, back up a gear. Round turn 2, pick up the speed. Through turn number 3, don't run too wide. There's grass at the exit of that curb that will unsettle the kart and spit you off into oblivion. Around turn number 5. Down the back straight, but then you've got to realise, when do I brake? When do I brake? Now I brake. Got to turn in. Down to the gearbox. Watch the big yellow and big white and red barriers at the curbing area of that complex. If I run wide, I crashed into them, and you can say goodnight to a kart chassis. And Pirimagi is closing. Pirimagi, this lap, is quicker than Del Rey again. We're going to complete lap number 11 out of 12. They cross the line. When will Pirimagi be close enough to make a move? You can see Del Rey taking a tight line into turn number 1 to avoid any potential lunge. We're on lap 12 out of 14. Down to the gears once again for turn number 5. Now back up, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And back down, 1, 2, 3. Pirimagi, 7 shifts in one straight there for the Estonian driver. You're looking at 30 or so gear changes per lap. Times that by 14, then you see just how strong and well conditioned these super shifter drivers are. Not to mention the G-forces that are in tow. There's no suspension, the beating that your lower back and your rib cage is getting. And all the while Stendorian is thinking, how am I going to try and get past this extremely experienced Belgian in front of me? And Thierry Del Rey knows this circuit better than most. Scholl runs 3rd, Lane is 4th. When will Stendorian Pirimagi make his move? Can he make his move? This is lap number 13. Next time by, they will get the last lap board. Sten waiting. He thinks, well, I may have one chance and one chance only. This is as close as he's ever been as he comes down towards turn number 9. Into turn number 10. Del Rey leads, and you haven't seen Del Rey look over his shoulder once. That's a sign of experience. Pirimagi, though, has got Del Rey in the crosshairs. Nico Lane goes through in 5th position, but as we begin our final lap, you can see John Antoniadis watching from the sidelines there. But it's Del Rey and Pirimagi into turn number 4. Will Pirimagi make a move? No, because Del Rey's covering the inside line. Next is the braking zone for the button complex, and Pirimagi is set to make a move. Will we see it? No. But he's right there. Whisker behind through turn number 7. Good drive there from Pirimagi. But Del Rey covers the inside line into turn number 8. No room for the Estonian there. Now down the short chute towards turn number 9. Del Rey brakes late. Doesn't allow Pirimagi a chance to get through. Pirimagi's got one more opportunity into turn number 11. Del Rey takes the inside line. Can Pirimagi get the crossover move? It's unlikely in this class, and no, Del Rey holds off Pirimagi to take the pre-final win in X30 Super Shifter. So Thierry Del Rey, the Mach 1 Motorsport driver, wins the pre-final by 0.2 of a second over Sten Dorian Pirimagi. Konstantin Scholl comes home in third, 8 seconds back. Mikko Lane